listening to the Independent Artist Showcase with today's hottest gospel artist. Here's your host, JVL.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Independent Artist Showcase powered by Elevate Magazine. I am your host, Vaughn. Isabel Davis is a distinct voice in modern worship. Isabel is a worship leader out of New Orleans, quickly rising the Billboard charts with her new single, The Call. In just a few minutes, Christabel, her sister, will introduce us to Isabel. We will then be blessed with the story of how this young lady has been strategically placed in our lives to lead us into a place in the presence of God.
Almighty God, we need you right now. Reveal your glory and pour your spirit out. Almighty God, we need you right now. Reveal your glory and pour your spirit out. Oh Lord.
Welcome back to the Independent Artist Showcase powered by Elevate Magazine. This is your host, Vaughn. Nobody can introduce family like family. Can you tell us a little bit about your sister before we let your sister tell us the truth?
Yes, my sister Isabel has been a huge inspiration to me. She is a phenomenal worship leader. She is a phenomenal leader person. She's so loving, so friendly. I mean, she doesn't know a stranger. So I can go on and on about her, but I will let you talk a little bit.
It'll be my pleasure.
Aww.
Now, Isabel, how much of that stuff was actually spur?
You're asking me to answer if my sister's a liar or not. She's telling the truth.
That is awesome. Now, tell me this. How did your journey in music begin?
It actually began at a little Pentecostal church in San Antonio, turned non-denominational. But the ministry there was really such a platform for me to grow, for me to follow my faith, for me to really just mature as a worshiper, as a singer, and as a leader, really. And music was always a part of our ministry because, we were always there. We were always at church. We had the big choir. Back in the 80s and 90s, there was always like that 50-voice, 60-voice choir, or more. Yeah, And so it was a multicultural church, so there was no type of music that was off limits. I mean, you had Latin, you had, gospel, like deep gospel, traditional gospel, you had CCM, everything, you name it. And so it's kind of what really shaped not only my sound, but just our view of God, because you heard so much about the power of God, and you heard so much about, just the different aspects of God and who He was, and it shaped the image for me as a young girl. But it also gave me that desire to want to know Him on my own, not through mom, not through dad. And just growing up in church and in music, it wasn't just church. My dad was one of the first, music ministers at the church. And so music was playing at home. It was playing everywhere. It was like all we knew at one point. And so, it was so natural. And so, just like I said, growing up in it and having a desire to really want to develop as, someone who really just loved God. Let's just put it like that. A relationship with God was primary. The singing was kind of secondary. And God just chose to bless that for whatever reason, and so, a few years later, got the opportunity to move from the powerful ministry that we grew up in to one here in New Orleans, where my husband is from, and came under some amazing spiritual covering, Pastor Fran and Bishop Lester Love. And it's at this ministry that I believe God really began to just elevate it a little more and a little more. And so, He just started opening up doors once I was connected to this powerful ministry. And so that's kind of been my journey in a nutshell. But I love God with all my heart, and I will forever serve Him in music and in everything else that I do.
So your father was a minister of music?
Oh yeah, he was. Now he didn't necessarily play, but he led the people of God into just, a place of God's presence just coming in, week after week, and we really saw, just. The ministry was so unique. That's the best way I can say it. My dad's ministry was so unique because he was like a kind of a blend of like an opera singer meets like the Temptations meets like, it was just everything, right, Cheeks? It was just like everything. Yes.
What music was playing? Was it always just CCM or gospel, or was it a combination of everything?
It really was. My mom, she's Mexican, full blood. so she, she loves her Spanish music, and so that was. I remember that a lot. Like there was a lot of Spanish going, but then there was, gospel, Southern gospel. There was, the Sandra Crouches and the, Andre Crouches. But yeah, like Crystal said, Southern gospel. So there was Karen Wheaton. I don't even know if you've heard of her. Sandy Patty. Vicky Owie was one of them. Just so much variety. And then the CCM. The CCM was, I think back then when we were growing up, the CCM singers were like Kathy Tricoli, Amy Grant. It wasn't like now. It wasn't like the Hillsong.
Are you all 90s kids?
Oh, yes.
So,
definitely 90s kids.
Did you get to experience like Aaliyah or R. Kelly? I don't mean to say them together at the same time.
Yes. Of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, we weren't that squeaky clean, in the 90s.
Listen, and here's the thing. Like, we grew up.
UPC. Go ahead and sing.
Before it was non-denominational, it was a very strict UPC, which is United Pentecostal. So it was no pants, you can't cut your hair, you can't wear earrings,
no makeup.
It was just very religious, and so we're not allowed to listen to secular music. We couldn't wear pants, like we couldn't do anything that all of our friends were doing. So Isabel and I went to a season because we were like subscribed. We went
we've all been to a season.
we would sneak everything, and when we would hang out with our friends, we'd listen to all the popular music and everything. So that's kind of how we became familiar with all that. We couldn't listen to it in our house, but we would sneak out and go with our friends, and they could hear it, stuff like that.
So it was then that we were exposed to the secular world.
So did you all together, like did you all ever just think to yourselves, when we get out of this house, we're going to go ahead and be our own Destiny's Child or our own 98 Degrees? Like, was that ever
No, that never came across, and I think because we had such strong roots in
strong foundation.
It's just foundation that we knew whatever music we do, it's going to be for God.
Before I let you all go, of course, we have to know the history of these nicknames. So we have Man and we have Cheek. Who wants if we could only hear one story behind the nickname, whose story do we need to hear it, and can we hear it?
Go ahead, Cheek.
I think we'd say Nan. I think because everyone would wonder how did Isabel become Nan? Like random.
That sounds good. So what we're going to do is we're going to hear the Cheek story. So let me hear about Cheek.
Well, Cheek, okay, so her name is Christabel, but all her life we had a nickname for her that my mom gave her, my mom and one of her friends, and that was Chica. And because in Spanish, Chica means little girl. And so, we spell it C-H-I-C-A, Spanish. As we got older, Chica was too long to say. It was just too long. We want to talk in I-am and all.
One syllable words.
One syllable level. So that's it. This is a story. This is how she became Cheek. It's just being lazy and not wanting to say Chica.
See, I was thinking it was like a roller skating accident or something, and she fell on the bottom.
And that's why it's not as funny as
it's anticlimactic. I hyped it up, and it's
all right. And you like that, so let me hear about Dan.
Go.
Okay,
That was
so
good.
it's a similar story. When she was born, my mom called her Morena. And Morena in Spanish, Morena in Spanish means dark skinned.
Yep.
So she was the darkest one of all of us.
The four.
At the time, you know.
All right. Wow. Okay.
She just kind of stopped and
I mean, if she was the darkest out of the four, we would say
the darkest light skin. The darkest.
No, it's true. Wait till you see the rest of the Sims.
Oh goodness, I can't.
So, you know,
Okay.
Morena, you know, as when I was, you know, born, I was younger, of course, than she was. So I couldn't say it. So I always called her Nena. You know, as a little tot, you know, like Nana. So it went from Nana to when we got older, like Isabel said, everything had to be one syllable. So I started calling her Nan just for short. You know, Nana turned to Nan, and that's. I mean, I get both names came as being lazy. I mean,
Nice.
Being lazy and being cool.
That's the moral of the story.
Lazy and
These are some
cool
lazy
teenagers.
sisters.
You are such cool teenagers. Listen, you don't talk long when you're a teenager.
I get it. So, what is the possibility? Because you both are working on projects right now.
Yes.
You're with the incredibly talented and the phenomenal promotional team of Uncle G. So you got him in your back corner, and he's out there working hard for you. So you're both working hard on great music. Now, when these albums come out, is there any chance that we're going to have Nan on Chica's album or Chica on Nan's album?
You know, I would love that.
I was going to say, this is our dream. It would be such an honor to sing with my baby sis because, listen, she pulls heaven down, and it's like, you don't have a choice. You'll start weeping. You'll start, like, if you have a dry eye, you don't have a relationship with God. It's that anointing. You know what I mean? Like that. So, yes, absolutely. You know, and definitely, you know, as we work our projects, that is something that it's like a must for us, you know. It's good.
Right.
Before we get out of here, I want to hear from both of you all. What final word would you give for someone who's an independent artist who's looking to get out and make their voice known and get their ministry worldwide? Let's start with Yuki.
I would say diligence. And I think that stands for, you know, your diligence in the word. I feel like if you're a Christian artist, you should not be trying to persevere and push through to making, you know, anything happen without God. You know, I think you have to have a relationship with God in order to reach his people, in order to make an impact and bring change, because it's not about us. You know, if
Amen.
it should not be about you. And all praise belongs to me. That should not be it. You know, you should be pointing, you should basically be a lens to see God bigger. You know, you magnifying him, not yourself. So diligence in God and your work ethic too. So
Amen. If you check your PayPal, I sent you your offering. All right, man.
So Chica, you left off on a perfect note, talking about work ethic, because I believe what James 2:17 says, that faith without work is dead, being alone. You've got to put some action to what you believe God called you to do. And it's easy for us, you know, as Christians, to say, oh, I'm just going to wait on God, you know, because I did it for years. But God is like, I'm waiting on you. What are you doing? You know? And so we can always find enough excuses and reasons why it's never the right time to start. But if you believe this is truly what you're called to do and what God called you to do, and this is the gift he's placed in you, then you need to start working, start moving, start doing something. And I believe that God will begin to open the doors. You'll begin to see that it's evident that you're walking in the calling and the will of God. And not that it won't be hard at times, and not that you won't face trials and struggles, because the enemy will try to tell you, nah, this is not for you. But as long as you stay fasted up and prayed up and you're able to hear from God that this is where he wants you, then you continue to work. then God will see that and honor that, and he'll begin to send people in your life. It doesn't even necessarily, it's not about the money even, it's God will send you everything that you need. He's our provider. He's El Shaddai. So if you trust him and you get to work, God will allow your gift to make room for you. And I believe that. So just get moving.
Get moving.
Okay, so by the way, if I didn't say this before, she is also a preacher. So
we know. If we didn't know before now, we know not. She came in and said, James, Tuesday. That's it. Give him the word.
give you the word, and she will see you under the table.
Stop, you.
I appreciate you giving us the word. Now, can you give us your social media? So let me start with Ms. Christabel. Where can we find you? We want to know more about you. Where do we go?
You can find me as Christabel Clack on all
Social media.
Social media. So Facebook is Christabel Clack, Instagram is Christabel Clack, Snapchat Christabel Clack, and my Twitter is Christabel Clack. So that makes it easy.
It's not cheeks. It's not cheeks on anything.
It's not unfortunately. It's not cheeks Clack. Is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. All
right. It looks like somebody benefited from an authentic name. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Periscope, everything.
Yes, Periscope as well.
Everything. Now listen, and we're going to get to Isabel in a second, but listen, when I send out these friend requests to y'all, I get real nasty. I become a nasty dude when I don't get listen, I don't care if you got 5,000 and 7. You better drop 8 people. That's all I'm saying. Drop 8 people.
I love it.
When Vaughn Martin comes through, he comes in. He comes in loud. So if I fit in and I don't get an acceptance, the glory of the Lord is going to come, and He's going to be angry.
The wrath of God.
The wrath
Hello.
of God.
Oh, I love it.
Y'all got me cracking up. Isabel,
You got us cracking up.
Y'all got me clowning. Isabel, tell me about your social media, please. Let me behave.
Sure, absolutely. So yeah, website is, let's start with that. It's www.isabeldavis.com, and that's for all things Isabel Davis. And then social media, Trinity, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, under I am Isabel Davis. And I also have a YouTube channel, same thing, I am Isabel Davis. And to make purchases on the live version or the radio version, you can purchase those on iTunes or Google Play.
Excellent. Do not look up Nan. Put in the name. Put in the name.
Don't search man. You won't.
You will not find anything except a kindergarten book.
Listen, and the same thing goes to you, but I want to be nicer to you. So listen, when I send out this friend request now, I need you to go ahead and drop 6 people so you can add me on there, all right? Javon Martin, 3 of us.
Okay. I will do that for sure.
Appreciate
Absolutely. Listen, we appreciate you.
Oh,
Javon.
please, whatever.
So much.
I'm just here trying to make sure that everybody knows about you all. That is where Elevate Magazine gets our joy and lets the world know about these independent and young artists and who have a word to bring to the world, and that is exactly where you all stand right now. The atmospheres are going to be loosened. The world will be inspired, and they're going to be ready to take on the challenges of the devil through you all's music. And that's why I'm so thankful that you all are using your gift, the gift that God gave you to bless His people. So I appreciate you. I appreciate Uncle G Records for making sure that the world gets to hear Isabel and Christabel. And thank you all for spending some time with me here on the Independent Artist Showcase.
We appreciate your support and your love on the records and in our ministry. And thank you, Uncle G, and the whole Uncle G Productions family for the opportunity.
And then for my normal listeners, I'm sorry, I don't know what got over me. They just brought the laughter out today. I normally don't have stuff like this. And that's not true either. So On behalf of Christabel and Isabel and Nan and Freaks and Cheeks and Boom and Nan and Ray and everybody else and family, thank you all so much for listening to the Independent Artist Showcase powered by Elevate Magazine. This is your host, and Reverend Ricardo, take us out.
Thank you for tuning in to the Independent Artist Showcase.